Hello everyone and welcome to the first video of a new series of mine that I'll be doing on the realms of the gods. So this will be a bit of a shorter series, but a lot of you have been looking forward to this for a long time, and I've been talking about doing it for a long time. Really it might have made more sense to have done this before we played Nightfall, since in Nightfall we've already seen one of the realms of the gods. We've seen the realm of Torment, or the Redeemed realm. I won't spoil what happened there in case you don't know. But yeah, there are actually two other realms you can go to in Guild Wars. There's the Underworld and the Fissure of Woe. Not only that, but there are a lot of other realms. Every single god has got its own realm, and a lot of them are referenced in other quests and things, which hopefully I'll be going over in this first video. And then after that we'll be doing a full in-depth run of both the Fissure of Woe and the Underworld, and there's just so much cool stuff there going on, and what to do with fallen gods, and just so many awesome things. So yeah, this should be pretty good. I'm looking forward to it. So but before we get into the meat of things and start looking at all of these realms, I'd just like to say I kind of did this with Domain of Anguish as well, like put up a little bit of a disclaimer of sorts, that this really isn't going to be about gameplay. Don't come here looking for strategies or tactics or builds or anything like that. I might talk about it a little bit, but that's really not the primary focus of these videos. I do understand that we'll be doing elite zones here, so some people will be looking for that kind of stuff, but you know what guys, there's hundreds of videos and guides out there already on this. I really don't feel like I need to add to the pile there, so I'm going to stick with what I know. We're going to be doing the story, and that's about it. So yeah. Of course, if we're about to do a video series on the realms of the gods, it would probably help to know a little bit about the gods themselves. So if you don't know much about the story, if this is the first video of mine you've seen, or maybe you've missed a couple of mine before, I've actually already done a two-part video on the gods themselves. So I'll have an annotation on the screen for you to hit that and check that out if you want, so that we all kind of have a base level of knowledge to go into this on. And yeah, that's about it, so let's just go into it. I hope you enjoy these videos, guys. I hope I enjoy making them, because they're going to be bloody hard. But yeah, let's do it. Okay, so here we are in game. We're at the Temple of the Aegis. Now, I've done a couple of videos before at the Temple of the Aegis and been a little bit vague about what really goes on here, so now I can actually go into some real depth about it. So essentially the Temple of the Aegis is just one of 4 locations in game where players can get access to elite missions which take place in the realms of the gods. Really, this is the main area. Lots of people come here, and that's really only because this was the place that was here at launch. Obviously, Prophecies came out first. There are alternative places. Like I say, there are 4 locations. So if you're a player that only owns factions, there's a place there for you so that you can get access without having to buy Prophecies. You know, you've got the Chantry of Secrets in Nightfall, which is the same. And essentially, these places are all very holy temples, just sites of great importance to the gods. And really, that's the lore reason why you can access them from there. There is a 4th place that was recently added, called Embark Beach. Really, that's only there for convenience, but it is another place where you can enter these realms. So before I really talk about what we have to do here to get into the realms, I may as well just take it from the top. What exactly are the realms of the gods, right? So essentially every single god in this game, all 5 gods plus the 6th god from Nightfall. In fact, you know what? I did say that there probably wouldn't be any spoilers. That would probably be a bit stupid of me. There probably will be spoilers for Nightfall. It'd be a bit crazy for me to do this video without that. So if that bothers you, watch out. But yeah, so basically the 6 gods all have their own realm associated with them, and these realms are afterlives, if you will, just essentially worlds that exist on their own planes of reality, and they're out in this place called the Mists. Now the Mists are quite a weird, ambiguous thing. They're like an extra dimension in this universe. I've actually read out a description of them before on Wiki, and I think I'm going to do it again just to kind of hammer it home, because I still think Wiki can describe it better than me, because they're just so ambiguous and difficult to describe. So basically this is the description, or the best one I can find really, or one of them, of the Mist. So the Mist is the realm of the afterlife and the proto-reality that exists between the worlds, which in turn are the building blocks of reality. They are the home to the various gods and other powerful entities, and the residences of various afterlives. The Mists resonate from the worlds around them, forming bits of their own reality, islands of existence that reflect the histories of their worlds. In the centre of the mist lies the rift, and within that the Hall of the Heroes, blah blah blah. So if you remember, I've already done an episode on the Hall of the Heroes and stuff. Hell, I'll leave an annotation to that as well if you want. There's another description of the mist there. So basically, these are afterlives or realms that each god sort of has command over that exist within the mist. And for whatever reason or another, we will be able to go to some of them. So that reason isn't exactly very clear a lot of the time. So for instance, in the next episode, we'll be going to Balthazar's realm. So Balthazar's realm is known as the Fissure of Woe. We'll be going there, and it's never really that clear when you first go in why the god has brought you to the realm, but as you complete quests there, you will figure it out. So yeah, like I said, every single god has got one of these realms. There are only 3 that are actually available in game. The first one we've actually already seen. It's the Realm of Torment in Nightfall. So the Realm of Torment was Abaddon's realm, and it kind of all fell and went corrupt when he went a bit evil, if you remember. That is now owned by Cormyr, and it said in Guild Wars 2 that it's now called the Redeemed Realm. Who knows what's going on there? So we've actually already seen one of these realms, which is pretty sweet. But there are 2 more that were in the game at launch long before Nightfall. There's the Fissure of Woe, as I said, Balthazar's realm, and there's the Underworld, which is Grenth's realm. The Underworld is far more interesting. There's so many cool things to do in the Underworld, and it's had a hell of a lot of updates. I'll talk about that as this kind of mini-series goes along. So we're going to be starting off with the Fissure of Woe, because it's much easier, both from gameplay and on just the amount of lore that I can talk about. I mean, I already feel like I've got a million things kind of tumbling out of my head here, so it'll probably be the Fissure of Woe first. Before those, though, really, I want to quickly describe these other gods' realms. So we know that they exist, but they've not actually been added to the game. A long time ago, Gale Grey, I think it was Gale Grey anyway, one of the developers was talking about how they did definitely want to add more Realms of the Gods to Guild Wars 1, but obviously their plans changed when they decided to make the sequel, and sadly we never got to see them happen. I think one of them even talked about a map for, so this is Dwayna's statue here, and this is the realm really we know the most about. And it was talked about how maps for this realm had actually been drawn up and everything, and it seemed really interesting, but sadly it never came to happen. The most interesting thing about Dwayna, the reason why we know most about her realm, despite having never gone to it, is that in Cantha, a lot of the Canthans, if you remember, it's mentioned quite a lot in the early game in Cantha, they mention this place called Eternal Paradise, and it's essentially this vision of heaven, and you only really hear about it in Cantha, but it very much sounds like this is Dwayna's realm, this Eternal Paradise place, and I could imagine that, you know, that suits Dwayna down to the ground, really, doesn't it? There's also legends from other races, particularly the Tengu. They have a legend of this place called the Sky Above the Sky, which other people think could be Dwayna's realm. But aside from that, we really don't know much else. I mean, Melandri's realm, no idea what's going on. Lyssa's realm, we don't know. We just don't know. But both of these guys have got so much extra lore to do with fallen gods and like Balthazar's half-brother who's evil and all kinds of crazy stuff that is just way too interesting to pass up, despite the fact we can only actually play 2. So yeah, these other places are quite mysterious. Will we see them in Guild Wars 2? Maybe, maybe not. There has been confirmed that the Realms of the Gods won't be accessible at launch, and that kind of makes sense because the gods don't really care so much about Tyria anymore come the sequel, but that doesn't stop this being really interesting, if you ask me. So yeah, we've got the Fissure of Woe. I will talk about the Underworld more later. I'd rather not get into it too much. But how do we get there? So the plan is to go there. We can read the scripture, of course. You can read this at all of the temples. You guys feel free to pause that. I've read that out before in a different video, though. So enter the realm, we need to have favour of the gods, which is essentially an old mechanic that was in the game. It used to be people who were winning in competitive PvP tournaments would win favour of the gods for their server, essentially. That's kind of been taken away now. Now the favour of the gods goes up with how many titles people have completed, and really the world has favour of the gods all of the time now. It's a bit of a weird mechanic. I mean, if I just have a look, let's scroll up here, it will probably tell me how many minutes are left. Yeah, 21,154 minutes. It just never really runs out anymore. It never runs out because people are constantly getting titles. So you can pretty much ignore it, but you basically, this is the old way people used to have to get in. When you had Favour of the Gods, as you know, all the statues kind of come to life. So there's fire around Balthazar's statue, and you can kneel at them and summon the avatar of the respective god. If you speak to them, And now you can do this with both the Champion of Balthazar and with Grenth's Reaper over there. They will let you pay 1,000 gold, and that will essentially be all you have to do to enter the elite mission. There are other ways to do it. In hard mode you can get special drops, these scrolls. I think I might have one or two. Yeah, I've got one there, a passage scroll to the Fissure of Woe, which you can use regardless of whether the world has favour of the gods. As you can see in the description there, it says you can use these at Embark Beach as well. So that's what you can do at Embark. There are no statues, it's not a holy place at Embark Beach, but yeah, so this is the old way people used to have to get in. You'd have to pay 1,000 gold, mostly due to the fact that it's an elite mission. They were trying to discourage people from soloing it in. Obviously this is an 8-man game, so the idea was 1,000 gold wouldn't be that much if everybody put a little bit of money in. But for someone soloing, trying to get rare drops on their own, it would be a pain in the arse. Of course, now there's been massive inflation in the game and nobody really cares about 1,000 gold anymore, but that's beside the point. So yeah, the Underworld sees a lot more activity. You can just see, because so many more people are over there and it's just me over here. But that's about it. I will be completing this. It will probably be next episode we go in there. I'll be completing it on Matt Greenspring, not because I have a particular preference for this character, but Matt's just got, because he's been through Nightfall, he had all the heroes I really needed without very much fuss to go through. So yeah, as I said, I won't be talking about builds all too much, but yeah, this is why I'm playing as Matt. That's about it, I think. Let's speak to Balthazar's champion. As I said, it's very vague about the reasons why you come here, so I can at best be vague in this intro video, but it will become clear as we go in and we learn more stuff about what's going on. So if we dedicate the offering, he says, you think yourself prepared to serve the god of war? The Fissure of Woe holds dangers far greater than any of you have faced in the mortal realm. It's recommended you have 8 people. So, for some reason, Balthazar wants us in his realm. It turns out there's a big war. So this is the Fissure of Woe. I may as well show this right at the end of the episode. And there's a big war between Balthazar's Eternals and Menzies' Shadow Army. We've seen both the Eternals and the Shadow Army before. I've got a lot to talk about. I'm quite excited about this actually now that I'm in here doing it. So yeah, that's about it, guys. I will see you next time for the start of this. We've got Rastagan the Eternal to guide us around, and these are big, long elite missions, so it'll probably be like 3 parts, me completing just one. Then we'll head over to the Underworld. So I hope you enjoyed this intro video. I know it's a little bit of a weird one, really, a bit short, but there you go. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and I will see you next time.